Yeah, we are considered essential class. Essential class. I'm already jumbling my words. Twisted Joker. We just started. I do that a lot.
Oh, wait, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh my God. She's melting. She's melting. She's melting.
It looks like the Wicked Witch.
First ever video version of Everything But the Podcast, but it's also the very first ever live edition of Everything But the Podcast. We couldn't think of a bigger way to start it than with Comic Book Men's own Ming Chen and Mike Zapcic. Thank you so much for joining us. This is
What's up, guys?
for us.
What's up, Twisted Joker? What's up, Tony Stars Rex? It's an honor to be on with you two. Thank you very much.
No,
It is an honor. Thank you, guys.
yeah, it was. I mean, I really appreciate you guys going out of your way to making such an affordable price to have you on the show, especially during the time with the coronavirus epidemic and everything that's going on. So it was really cool to see you guys like, hey, we can come on your show for this low affordable price. So I thought that was really cool.
I mean, it was either this or watch Breaking Bad in the office for like the 83rd time. So
I think you could scrub the toilets; it wouldn't kill you.
Nah.
Holy crap!
That's why I have kids.
All right,
I probably do that myself, like maybe once a year. I need to do it more often.
You're patient zero, Tony Soros.
Yeah, sure sounds like it. I still got to go to work too.
Oh man,
what do you do? Are you essential? I guess essential staff.
Yeah, we are considered essential class. Essential class. I'm already jumbling my words. Twisted Joker. We just started. I do that a lot. We are considered essential because I guess our company supplies other companies on the front lines for what we do.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, very hush hush on this one.
So, yeah, I just work in the print room, so I'm not like, I don't consider it hugely important, but it's still important because I print the labels. So
yeah, and now I mean you're taking your life in your hands, just going outside at this point. So we thank you for for getting out there and provide.
Is that true? Are you really taking your life into your hands if you just walk out? And forgive me, guys, because I'm trying to figure out where to look. Look at you guys or look at the
I'm doing the
camera,
same thing. I keep looking at you and not the camera.
I know it's and I'm like, wow, you look really distracted. You're all over the place. So
I am too.
I'm just gonna look at you guys because the camera's sort of in that space. But are you really taking your life in your hands just going outside? I don't think so. I mean, you're
doing that anyway if you just cross the street. So
right. And I don't say go out and hang out at a ballpark with 30,000 of your closest friends because that's just stupid. And we're finding out how stupid people are by just watching Florida. I think Bugs Bunny had the right idea when he grabbed that hacksaw and cut off Florida and let him drift off.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's getting pretty bad too. I mean, they say stay at home, and then people aren't staying at home, and the cases are increasing by the day. So it's pretty brutal.
Where can you go in Pennsylvania? I mean, granted, you guys have some fairly big cities like Philly and Pittsburgh, but everything
I'm not one of them.
And you don't want to go to Harrisburg. No one wants to go to Harrisburg.
Definitely not.
I mean, my father grew up right outside in Steelton. And we drove through there about, God, when were we there, Ming? That was like 2 or 3 years ago?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we went there for a con.
Right. I took Brian Johnson. He tagged along with me, and we drove through my father's old hometown. And Brian Johnson looked at me, and he's just like, wow, what a shithole. I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Because it's awful. So, I mean,
I agree. I've only been there maybe once or twice. I went to the Harrisburg Mall like a few years back, and I haven't been back since. State College, where Penn State is only 30 minutes away from us, so that's a lot closer. But now you don't even want to go there because cases are rising there now too.
Of course. So, I don't know. But I don't think going outside and breathing some fresh air is going to kill you.
No, and the only place you're going here in Lewistown if you're going outside is GameStop or Walmart because that's all we have.
Yeah, right. Well, at least they've got the Walmart fully staffed.
I don't even know if it is. I only see like 10 people there every time I go in.
Well, it doesn't mean people are going there. I'm just saying that they've got the guys back in the stock room making sure that everything's being counted because I hear those guys at GameStop are pains in the asses to be, as far as bosses go.
Yeah, and I don't think you can actually go into GameStop anymore, but they'll still if you order something online, they'll bring it outside the door and hand it to you.
And probably spit in your face. Here you go.
Yeah, like that's kind of the same difference as going in the store because you're still making that human contact.
Yeah, well, you walk into the store, they're still going to spit in your face and laugh at you when you're bringing in, hey, I want to trade these games in for cash. It's like, yeah, tell you what, here's a roll of pennies. That's what you're stuck with.
That is so legit too. Maybe $2 if you're lucky.
Yeah. It's like, I just bought this for $75 last week, and you're going to give me $1 in credit? Thank you. No, we'll give you $4 in credit, $2 in cash.
Yeah, and maybe 100 if you bring back a system, but it depends on what system. Don't bring back an old one because you won't get anything.
No.
I love businesses that refuse to or never give up, never surrender. That attitude. So GameStop and Hobby Lobby are the two that come to mind. And I'm like, you guys aren't really essential. I mean, I love gaming. We all love gaming. But you know what? I'm going to download all my stuff for the time being.
But
that's what I was saying too. I couldn't believe that they were trying to say they were essential. I'm like,
how many people need to do shrinky dinks? I mean, that's essentially all Hobby Lobby is good for these days, or even shadow boxing. It's like, yes, it keeps you busy for 20 minutes, but once you're done, you put it in the attic, and your grandkids will have to worry about it.
Right, right. I'll tell you what was crazy was there was actually somebody recently in Pennsylvania who got arrested because they went to a grocery store and coughed on their product and told them that they had the coronavirus, and it cost that grocery store like over $32,000 worth of product.
I read that, and I was like, wow, what kind of a scumbag do you have to be to do that kind of prank? And it wasn't even April 1st. It was
like March something.
Yeah, March like 24th. And they were just gearing up. I want to see how this is going to play on the road, because I'm thinking about taking this over to Harrisburg. Let's go to Harrisburg.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to Harrisburg. Nobody wants to go to Harrisburg, even when the virus isn't going on.
So, so what was the name of the grocery store? Do you remember?
I did not see the name of the grocery store. I only saw the name and picture of the woman who did it.
I'll look it up and I'll throw it up in the comments if I find it.
Don't throw up, man, because you can get arrested for that.
That's funny.
I will not throw up.
All right, good boy.
I did think it was funny that I was like, wow, so it had to be Pennsylvania.
That's how I feel. Everything always has to be Pennsylvania. Zombie apocalypse and Night of the Living Dead, Pennsylvania.
I love Pennsylvania. My parents are from Pennsylvania, so I've got like Pennsylvania in my blood. Unlike the COVID, so which I don't have in my blood, thank God. So, but I love Pennsylvania. I love that it's a little bit of everything. You know, you've got, but it is. They have the Jersey attitude, but with like the redneck backstory, the backdrop of like, hey, we're all redneck here. So I love that. You know, Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. I have never seen worse fans than Flyers, the Phillies, the Eagles. You guys will tear people new assholes for no reason, just because we're playing against you.
It's funny, and I don't even follow sports that much, so I don't fall into that mentality. But I'm originally from Delaware, so I wouldn't fall into it anyway.
Well, good for you. Yes,
I'm from Delaware, and my wife is from Georgia, and now we both live in Pennsylvania with my grandfather. How does that work out? I don't know.
Where's Grandpa from?
He is actually from here in Lewistown, Pennsylvania.
So guess what? You've got it in the blood. So
yeah, he's got it in the blood. I think the Penn State is probably the farthest he's got it in the blood. And I won't even touch Penn State after that whole Sandusky thing. So
don't really want to. Yeah,
I kind of stay away from that too.
And I mean, I hear a lot of people like, you know, Papa Joe Paterno, he shouldn't be touched by this, but nah.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah,
I usually just stay away from the whole situation. Like, I don't support them, and I don't care if you hate me for it. I live in Pennsylvania, and I still don't support it. So get over it.
Even people from Pennsylvania are like, that's too weird for us. That's some messed up stuff.
Yeah, luckily most people are like that.
Yeah.
Touching back on the whole thing with that woman in the grocery store, there was another person apparently at a store, which I feel like was probably a Walmart because it seems like it would happen there. Yeah. But he was actually coughing on an elderly person who was wearing a face mask and like laughing at him, telling him that he had the coronavirus. I heard about that.
Beating him down, instead of punches, he's coughing on him like, and
yeah, literally, it just
shrinking backwards.
I was Ming, like, what is wrong with people?
Oh yeah, I found the I found the article. The grocery store was called Garrity's. I've never heard of it. It must be a local Pennsylvania chain.
That sounds familiar. I haven't been there, but it sounds familiar. The closest thing I have is the Walmart and like the Giant store.
Okay,
it's probably Giant store I actually like.
And they did approximate about $35,000 worth of produce that they had to toss out. Just
$35,000.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was like over 30 grand worth of product they had to toss out because of that one prank.
Twisted, any relation to you? Is this lady any relation?
No.
No, seriously, because that would be really hard to go to a family reunion if you're that lady and be like,
oh, geez.
Yeah, I was going to bring like a fruit basket or, like a watermelon with vodka in it. But I can't go into our local Garrity's anymore until I pay off that 35 grand. And I ain't doing that.
I imagine she couldn't go anywhere anymore because they put her picture on the article. So everybody's going to see her and know, oh, that's the lady that coughed on the.
If I were Garrity's, that would be our new uniform, is her face with a big red line through it. Right there. Welcome to Garrity's, except for you redneck bitch.
Yeah, it's like the Scarlet Letter, but
oh man.
Now, I know Twisted Joker actually had a few questions for you guys in relation to Comic Book Man, and since he hasn't talked yet on this episode, I'm going to throw it at him.
Absolutely.
Like I said,
ask anything.
I'm weird about being on camera, so this is like different for me. So
no, this is cool. Go to town.
But well, one of the big things that I wondered is because you guys worked at Kevin Smith's comic book shop and all that kind of stuff. How was he like?
What's Kevin like?
High.
Yeah,
he's high all the time.
Awesome.
All the time.
He might be high, but he is awesome. Kevin is one of the most generous and loyal people you'll ever meet, and funny. He's when you put him, Walt, and Brian together in a room. Oh my God, it is. How many times did we have to shut down production when these guys were going off, Ming?
Oh, a lot. Yeah. I mean, and while you could probably do a TV show just about those three, they needed a couple guys to make fun of too, and that's where we came in.
Yeah, that's where we came in.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you guys did hold your own on Tell 'em Steve Day's Pod Wars episode. So you got that for you.
We did. I think we won the Bicentennial Battle as episode 200. And we've won a couple times. We haven't lost everything.
We've actually won more than we've lost when you think about it. So
yeah, and those guys love throwing game shows. And then I don't know. I mean, I know you're a loyal listener. I don't know if you've noticed this, but usually they'll set up a huge elaborate game show. It'll go on for 2-3 hours. And at the beginning, it sounds like it's very well planned out and right. It's like fun. But it usually comes down to the last question, and they're like, "All right, well, whoever wins this last one just wins the whole thing."
Yeah. I'm tired. I've been here for long enough. I'm done. So this is for all the marbles.
And I'm like, well, what about the last 2 hours that we just played? Like, what was that all about? I was like, well,
that was just for entertainment.
I thought it'd be funnier than that. That was Walt. I thought you guys would be funnier, but no.
Oh, that's funny. I know all about that too because they were the ones that spurred me to try a couple original games on past episodes of my podcast.
Oh, Matt, which ones have you co-opted for your podcast?
I invented something called Wordemology, which we just made up. Twisted Joker and I made that up on the fly. And the original one, we just took the weirdest words in the English dictionary, and he had to try and figure out what the words meant while I tried to pronounce said words.
Oh, that's cool. That's a Walt Flanagan thing.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. And then I think the next episode after that, I brought in Wordemology Foreign Languages Edition, and we had two guests from another podcast on for that one. That freaking was hilarious listening, because I came up with a whole new rule set for that one on the fly, and I butchered it half the time. I didn't remember half the rules, and I think one point I gave somebody more points than I should have had. But that's what that reminds me of. I was like, it was a train wreck, but it was fun. And there was no prizes or anything like that. So I just told everybody, this is all for entertainment, so it doesn't matter who wins or loses, but it was a lot of fun.
It's not gambling if you're not giving anything away.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I think I still have one, possibly two still in my back catalog somewhere for future episodes.
Good. Yeah, keep it back there for you. Just in case.
That game sounds way more fun than Dyslexia.
Yeah. I was playing along with that, and I was like, I can't do this.
I think Mike is pretty good at it, though.
Yeah, Walt liked the way that I could figure stuff out, but it's like it's more word association than it is like what's the exact opposite of bird. It's not frog. No,
it's like something completely random. It's like garbage can.
Squirrel. Yeah, birds fly, squirrels don't. So there you are. That's the opposite, which is fine. That works for me.
It makes for good content. I'll give them that.
I still keep hearing threats of possible Dyslexia World Championships. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if it'll ever happen. But if it does, I want Mike on my team. And I mean, we always get paired up as the team ISL Comics, so I think
right.
We got a fighting chance on that one.
Except for the one time when you kind of went double because you were on Sunday Jeff's team, I believe, and on ISL Comics. You were kind of jumping between the two.
He was until he found out that we were in the lead, and then he
stuck with whoever was winning.
He pulled the Walt Flanagan. It was good.
It was pretty funny. I'm trying to scroll through here while we're talking. I'm trying to find weird news, which Twisted Joker and I always do at the beginning of the episode. Cool. But it seems like every single thing I'm finding has to do with the epidemic. And I'm like, come on, give me something good here.
There is nothing good. Everything has to do with the epidemic.
Well, here's a family with 3 young children smoke herbal cigarettes to fight coronavirus.
Well, doesn't that sound like fun?
I don't know what these herbal cigarettes consist of.
Right, yeah, isn't herbal cigarettes isn't that code name for weed? Isn't that
probably
no.
Pretty much?
But the question is, it feels the need to mention that there's also 3 young children. So are they smoking themselves, or are they trying to give it to the kids too? Because there could be an issue there.
Right. The first image that pops in my head is the one from Clerks, where Randall sells the 6-year-old girl cigarettes, and there's a shot of her putting it up to her lips and smoking. And I was like, oh, okay. I just want to know the science behind this. Like, how does smoking herbal cigarettes combat the virus? That's what I want to know.
Does that family of 3 own any interest in Hobby Lobby? Is that did Jesus come and tell them?
Or maybe they want to own a weed store.
Let me guess. Was this
legal in a lot of places now?
Was this in Florida? I'm trying to guess.
It might have been. I don't know, because I seem to get my weird news from the UK, so it may have actually been in the UK.
Well, they're a little bit more liberal over there. I mean, don't kids smoke cigarettes in France at like age 4, 5?
And then you got Amsterdam, where you can do pretty much whatever you want at any age.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. You have to do it in certain districts, though.
Yeah, that is true. Here's one that says naughty goats take over a town in Wales during the coronavirus lockdown, and the police can't even stop them.
Imagine being the chief of police and you can't even take care of goats.
Ridiculous.
I mean, there was that old joke where, like, you know, Gotham City would suck if it weren't for Batman, and Commissioner Gordon's a joke. This guy's 10 times worse.
Yeah,
he's not up against the Riddler or the Joker or King Tut. He's up against goats.
Goats. Multitudes of goats. I don't know if you can see this. Hang on. I'm going to see if I can.
Yeah, you can screen share it if you can figure that out.
I was using my mobile device, but I might be able to find it on I might be able to look it up.
So you if I heard you correct, you said naughty goats?
Yeah, it literally lists it as naughty goats.
What is a naughty goat?
That's what I want to know. I'm about to read more.
$50 to find out, man.
A herd of goats has been spotted running wild in the seaside town of Llandudno in northern Wales.
Llandudno? Never heard of it.
Mike, Mike had a flight booked to Landudno before this whole thing hit. So
I know. Now I can't go there. Damn it.
Here we go. It says they were first spotted outside a pub near Trinity Square. So there's how they're naughty. They're at the pub.
You're looking at the hey, George, what's going on out there? I don't know. There are a bunch of naughty goats out in front of the pub.
It's freaking hilarious. Like, what was it, Twisted Joker? Was it last month on one of the episodes where he found out the town that got taken over by the bats in Australia?
Oh, yeah.
Before the whole coronavirus, the whole town was swarmed with thousands and thousands of bats. And because they were protected species, they couldn't do anything about it. That was in Australia, and now you got goats in Wales.
Not protected by me, they're not.
I love that. It's like, when you get rid of those bats, like, oh, it'd be really bad for their society. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and they said because it was a mating season or something, there wasn't an opportunity for them to get in there and try to move them.
Yeah, we don't want to give them self-esteem issues.
Oh my goodness! All right, I'm looking this up. Twisted Joker, say something for a couple minutes while I look this up.
Throw it all on me.
Yeah,
throw it at you.
So yeah, Kevin, we love him. He's funny, and he smokes a lot of weed. That's we get like that's probably, if not our most asked question ever, maybe number 2.
Yeah, what's Kevin like? He's an awesome guy.
That Kevin you see on TV, or in the Q&As, yeah, that's pretty much Kevin.
That is him. Smart too.
Yeah. I figured it would be a question you guys get a lot. But...
Yeah, we get it all the time.
Yeah, and I think he did a YouTube live yesterday where he made a lot of revelations that about upcoming projects. So definitely check that out. If because what else do you have to do?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
When season 8?
Well, that he did not talk about.
I was gonna say
I would have loved to have seen a season 8. I would love the show to still be going on now, to be honest.
So would we.
I mean, 7 seasons was good, I guess, considering because a lot of shows don't make it that far.
That's true, but 15 is better.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's something you should try and convince Walt to do, like your own reality version of Comic Book Men on the Patreon.
Now, we actually, if you are on Patreon, you can watch our trek up and down to New Orleans on the road to Reboot.
Yeah,
yes, I did actually. I actually watched that. That was really cool. I love that, and I also watched the like the Making Hay 3 documentary and all that stuff. I watched that stuff with my wife, which is a lot of fun to do.
Gotcha, but I mean, for us to do that, we need somebody to underwrite all that and buy us a van and get Febreze the thing every day so it doesn't smell like all 4 of us.
Or nowadays, Lysol the thing every day.
Right, you Lysol it so it doesn't smell like naughty goats in there.
That's funny.
Well, Mike, with enough money, anything is possible. So
it's very true, and I would love to do it, but unfortunately, Comic Book Men didn't pay that well that we could actually quit our jobs and do this full time. I'd love it, but
that's something I hear a lot too. People think you make so much money on TV, but it's never as much as you would think.
No.
Yeah, we wouldn't be shilling our podcast services for $40 a pop if we're rolling in it, I think so. But we thank you. It is helping keep the lights on over at our podcast studio. So thank you.
Yeah.
So there was one comic book episode though where we did go to a survival store where they sold like survival gear, and that was fun. And then we were gonna turn the basement into like a fallout shelter, like an apocalypse bunker.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I got I figured out the share screen here.
Nice. Yeah, all you gotta do is click it, and all the windows move to the side. It's pretty. Although you're on a mobile device, I can't remember how it works on that. So
I'm on a laptop.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we should be all right.
So the survival store is called the Get Out Safe Store, and
there we go.
They had a lot of interesting items there. Naughty goats take over town during Corona.
Yeah,
and it's a picture of goats wandering and terrorizing the town.
They would terrorize me with those freaking horns, man. Those things look pretty sharp.
I think it'd be pretty cool if they were wearing leather jackets and just wandering around.
Like they were a gang and they had
pretty good.
They had a logo on the back.
Mr. D'Annunzio.
But there's apparently an actual video of them.
You gotta play it.
Oh boy, hit it again.
Not be playing.
Hit it again. It'll load. Hit it one more time.
There's one under it too. Let me see.
Hit that arrow. It'll play.
There we go.
Whoa, they're just roaming the town like freely. They're running.
Oh, that's awesome.
Holy crap. That and look, there's not a soul on the street either, so they know to keep out of there.
The one underneath it looks even more interesting. It looks like they're about to, set fire to the place.
Right.
Right.
Like goat arson for hire.
That's funny. I'm gonna stop that for now. I did see another one where it said a woman turned herself green from self-tanning. So I'm kind of curious about that.
Green.
Well, you go tan and then yellow, like the inside when you boil an egg, and then you get that green. Yeah.
You sure she didn't get blasted by gamma rays, maybe in the tanning bed?
She might have, because she kind of looks like a female version of the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
Which would be She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk. I don't know why I just I should know this. I got Marvel Unlimited like probably last year.
Nice.
But as much as I love it, there's so much stuff on there, it's impossible to track everything down. I didn't get comics for my family as a kid, so I only discovered them like more recently and got into them basically with Comic Book Man when I started watching it.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, that spurred me to want to read more into comics and stuff like that. So I kind of got more. Obviously, I knew the mainstays like Spider-Man and Batman and stuff like that, but I kind of was able to delve more into the more obscure stuff. Yeah, there you go. A green tint when she applied the 2 layers of tan, but carried on anyway.
What did they give a brand for this whatever this horrible bronzer or tanning?
Here's she applied a couple layers of tan before bed one night, but cracked on anyway.
Okay.
It was only when she woke up the next morning that she realized her huge mistake.
Oh, wait, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh my God.
She's melting. She's melting. She's melting. She looks like the Wicked Witch.
The name of the tanning lotion, so anybody who's watching can be like, let me not use that.
It looks like a filter, like a Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
But it's
really
not.
does, but you can almost tell it's real.
It's
almost is so green that it makes her eyes look like they're bulging out of her head.
She applied very it's very consistent though. It doesn't look like it's streaky or anything. She did a great job applying it.
Yeah, it was even all around.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I mean, if there are any Hulk cosplayers out there, they should use this.
Yeah, whatever it is, they really should use it. It would run.
It looks great. Like if I was gonna cosplay the Hulk, yeah, I would totally use this stuff instead of whatever people use.
And whatever the tanning company is, should start investing in other colors too, so people can be any color they want whenever they apply.
Yeah, for sure.
You can make yourself into the genie by using the blue. Maybe you could turn yourself into
if you go orange.
Yeah, the purple people eater.
Yeah, Mystique. You want to be Mystique, man. Put on the blue version. Wow.
But can you go back to that article, Tony Stark?
I still have it pulled up. I just ended the.
Okay, can you go to that picture of her, the first one?
Oh, just her as a regular,
as a regular human being.
Even the regular human being doesn't look normal to me.
No, I want you to take a look at her eyebrows.
Yeah, let me see. Here we go.
Did you notice something weird about the eyebrows? All
yeah,
right.
It looks like she cut off 2 tarantula legs and glued them over her eyes.
Okay, here we go, Mike.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
There's the eyebrows right there. I mean, she looks like she's terrified.
Well,
or somebody just took a dump on her front porch and she's getting a whiff of it.
Yeah, right. Maybe it was a naughty goat.
When I first saw this, I thought this was the green, and then I realized that's not the green.
You're like, wow, she looks horrible. And then you're like, oh, wait, I got to scroll down. Oh, okay.
I want to find this stuff, and me and Mike. Well, I don't know about Mike. I'll put it on just to see how bad it is for like a YouTube video. I'll totally do it because I mean, it's I'm trying to find things to entertain myself with these days, and this would totally do it. So I'm gonna find out what this stuff is.
Yeah,
it's probably for sale on Amazon.
Here. I'm surprised it doesn't say. You think it would be like, hey, let's make it an effort to tell exactly what it was. I told her I was just fitting into character as the Wicked Witch of the West. and people have compared her to Grot Bags. She could be the female, what was it, that guy that used to be on the green bean cans? Was all green.
The Jolly Green Giant?
Yeah, the Jolly Green Giant. She could
be Sprout
version of that. Oh man, that was bad.
That's awesome.
Mom mortified after daughter's drawing goes into a bit too much detail. I'm not sure I want to know what that is, because that could be anything. Usually they have better stuff than it. Here's a fat polar bear that is 30 ST overweight and gets an unflattering nickname.
30 stone.
That is a huge polar bear. I'd be a little bit worried about making fun of that thing.
Well, if it understood English, yes.
Yeah, that thing is massive. He's very overweight, is what the tag is under it.
All right, that must have been a slow news day. That article had to have come out before the virus.
It probably did. I didn't look at the exact date on it.
Why?
This site seems to update. Well, no, yeah, 29th of March. So I guess that would be during the virus.
Fat Albert, how do you think Cosby feels about that?
I mean, that bear.
Yeah, that does seem like a copyright issue. I don't know why I almost said Colbert issue.
I mean, that bear looks chunky, but nothing. I don't think nothing newsworthy for sure.
I think because it's weird news specifically, they just throw whatever they can find on that site. But in today's society, where we're going through this whole lockdown, stuff like that is the kind of thing that people need to see because it's funny.
Right. How have you gentlemen been entertaining yourself in the last, say 2 weeks since we've been locked down here?
I think Tony basically.
Yeah, with me, it's been work Monday through Friday, and then gaming and doing YouTube videos and the podcast on the weekend is pretty much how I go with that.
Yeah, I've been video gaming and working too, so.
Video gaming.
Yeah, playing games and working. That's about it.
So on the YouTube video front, have you found yourself more productive, or have you been like, I'll do it later?
When it comes to me, I was doing them daily before, but now with going to work and everything, it's kind of almost shrunk down a little bit, but I'm trying to get back into doing. There's been a lot of new games that just came out. So because with the gaming YouTube, it's a lot easier to put more videos up when more games are coming out. But I also do taste tests and like unboxings and a whole bunch of other stuff on the channel too. So I've always got something to do. It's just a matter of figuring out when to do it. And now we've got this with the live streaming the podcast. So
yeah. So, we're both content creators. We both have podcasts and now we're streaming. So I'm hearing, stat wise, podcast listenership is down because no one's commuting right now.
Right.
However, like video viewing and live streaming viewership has gone way up because people are stuck behind their phones and computers, and they'll just sit there and stare at anything at this point.
And I can understand that too, because if people are like me, when it comes to listening to podcasts, I'm always listening when I'm at work because even though I run the machine, I'm allowed to plug like one headphone in or something. So that's typically where I'm listening to my music or my podcast. So with most people out of jobs right now, they can't. They don't have the means to be listening to the podcast. That's the kind of thing I could edit out if this was audio only, dang it.
Right. But you mentioned taste tests. What kind of foods have you been?
I'm subscribed to Snack Crate, so I get a crate from a different country every month, and it's been a lot of fun. I think the first one I did on the channel was actually a coworker from work gave me some of those Japanese corn sticks. Or whatever. Well, I guess they're corn sticks. I don't know what they were, but they were Japanese. We don't know what they were. I've heard that some taste like raw hot dogs and others taste like different things. But yeah, that was one of the first ones I did on the channel. But actually, when I first started the channel, I did my own like home movie style short horror film called The Wandering Soul. And I also did a silent film comedy called Slender: A Day in the Life, where I literally dressed up as Slender Man and just like mowed the lawn, did the dishes. People got a kick out of that. So I did that when I first started. And then I added like it was black and white, and it had like some kind of effects I managed to do in the editor that would kind of make it look like Slender was portaling in and out for the different things. And then I just added some like copyright free music. Still got hit with a copyright claim, but it didn't affect the channel. It wasn't like a strike. It was just one of those things on like, hey, we're going to advertise their video or something like that. But I wasn't worried about it.
So have you gone to the grocery store dressed as Slender Man in these times?
I actually wanted to go to GameStop dressed as Slender Man, But the employee in GameStop was like, well, I got to wait for the manager to come in. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but the manager's got to tell me. And then the manager, for some reason, never came back. So it kind of fell through. But I thought it would be hilarious to have that video shot of like Slenderman buying a video game. Or I'm a little scared to bring it to Walmart because people are already crazy at Walmart. So
yeah, right.
I might get the cops called on me.
But did that kid actually, the manager never came back? So did the kid go up in the chain of command?
No, I think the manager was just on vacation, and each time they were like, "Oh, he's not back yet. Oh, he's not back yet." So for all I know, he just moved to another store, and they probably brought in someone else. It was really weird. I think the real situation was they just didn't want me to film in their store dressed as Slenderman and scare other customers. That's probably what their fear was.
I would do it outside their store when they're not open.
Yeah, I could probably do it. I mean, if I was able to do it mowing the lawn scene was pretty freaking fun. And doing the laundry, people love that. So, that was just crazy stuff. Like I was like, okay, I'm going to start YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then just those ideas literally just came to me when I was working one night and I just did it. Same thing with the Wandering Soul. That just came to me when I went to work. And I think some of that is filmed on my mobile phone and then others was filmed with the same camera. Well, it wasn't the same camera I'm using now. It was a different camera, but I upgraded since then. But it was just a camera on the laptop. And that was with no prior film acting experience or anything like that. It was just for fun.
Right.
That was the debut of, which I think I also eventually did on the podcast, where I started debuting different characters from my imagination. Like I have Jestro, which is like the evil jester clown. And then I have Dalai Lama and Clown Roy, who just wants to dance. I think all those videos are somewhere on the channel too.
Okay, so those are on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, and they're also on the podcast because one of my earliest episodes, I did the journey into the imagination of Tonysaurus Rex, and I debuted all of them on the podcast. I did parody ads on there with them in the parody ads. That was one thing I used to do a lot in the beginning of the podcast was parody ads because I thought it was funny, but then I ran out of ideas and I kind of screwed myself. But I had some good ones in there. That was last year. I started everything but the podcast up last year. 2 years before that, Twisted Joker and I used to do another podcast for music, which was called Masters of the Underground. And then we just kind of disappeared for 2 years. I kind of just went away for whatever reason, was dealing with some stuff. And then I decided last year to come back. And now look where we are. We've got Ming Chen and Mike Zapcic on the show.
I know.
We would have thought we would have ever been there 2 years ago.
So Tonysaurus, you were managing a GameStop somewhere and just disappeared. Now you're back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
I wish I was managing a GameStop. I'd probably get more than I get paid to work at an essential business right now. Actually, no, I probably wouldn't because it's retail. So I don't know. They probably don't get paid that much either.
That's all. So you have a new subscriber. That would be me. And
thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. Twisted Joker, well, you probably don't have the option. But if you have your PS4 on, maybe you can check in on the YouTube and see if anybody's been in chat because I'm not able to see the chat on anything. I mean, I could probably bring it up on a separate web page, but I don't want it to start playing the stupid audio.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm keeping tabs on it now. There are a couple people in there, so I mean, one of them's me, but I'm keeping tabs. So yeah, if you're watching this, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, and we're on Twitch as well. So we're.
Oh my goodness, YouTube! Shut up. Sorry.
I
was literally hearing double. I was hearing you talk, and then I was hearing the video playing back at the same time.
We're broadcasting worldwide right now, and it's pretty amazing. So yeah, a lot of people have been asking me and Mike, say, hey, how you guys doing? The store's shut down. Unfortunately, right. They've deemed the stash a non-essential business, if you can believe it.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, I think stash should be essential just because you guys record podcasts there. That's essential to me because right now I feel like the stuff that we do is really important because people need that escape right now. And that's kind of what we do. We try to provide that entertaining escape for people to just not think about everything that's going on around them. So I feel like as content creators, podcasters, and everything we do, this is a really important and big time for us.
Yeah, I believe so. And, we're setting a good example. We're inside. We're staying inside. We're not spreading the virus. So, but Mike's been going in sparingly to do mail order. You can still buy books at the stash. Mike will mail them to you.
I'll even wash my hands before I send them out to you. So
send a free hand sanitizer with them. Oh, wait, those jerk-offs in that other state probably still have all that hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Somebody
that was ridiculous.
All that stuff, just had to throw it out.
That and toilet paper. That was actually one of the funniest things I thought. That was like the first thing to go was toilet paper. I was like, you're more worried about wiping your butt than you are about having food to eat.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know where society's going today, but I guess toilet paper is more important than anything else.
You know what? I got kids. I can have more, and cannibalism isn't that socially unacceptable anymore. Seriously, Hannibal kind of like greased the skids a little bit for him. So it's when I have to poop out my neighbor. That's when it gets dicey.
Yeah, that's when the pain comes. I mean, I hear with all those goats flying around, they might be hiring somebody to hunt them down so you can get some goat meat in your system too.
Yeah, goat meat's good. Goat meat's good. I mean, I think the toilet paper thing is funny that people are hoarding it. However, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty well stocked here. I don't know about you guys, but if we ever do come down to that last half roll, man, it could get desperate. The situation.
Yep.
When you're there with your Action Comics #1, Ming, and you're like, oh my God, this is worth $1.5 million, but you got to wipe.
I would just start reaching for old drawers and old clothing and be like, I'll watch this later. We'll be good.
How cool would it be if you have like a cyborg goat hunter and you just superimpose yourself as you've got like the tin foil on half of your head and you're like, with the red eye, like target acquired, and you see the stock footage of the goats running across.
Oh, the goat nader.
And just the goat nader.
The T-Goat 1000. That would be pretty cool. I feel like it could be done. Somebody out there can do that. They could turn one of us in.
You.
I mean, I could probably do it, but it would be very difficult. I mean, I put us with a weird Photoshop from my phone the one time on the Call of Duty picture for the Call of Duty game, and I put our like shocked faces, just making goofy faces as the faces on that one of our thumbnails. It was pretty hilarious.
Then you're good to go. You'll do it for me.
Yeah, and I think my profile picture on Twitter is me on like a bumblebee's body or something. I don't remember. I did some stupid meme. I had a little while where I just kept creating memes of myself for whatever reason. I was like, okay, I'm doing this way too much. It's going to start interfering with my work, so I need to stop.
You were doing it a lot.
I can confirm that. I'm on your Twitter page right now. Yes, it is. You are on a bee body for whatever reason.
I'm pretty sure the meme says "Don't talk about it, be about it." It's really corny, but I still liked it for some reason, so I used it.
Ming is actually you're being kind of creepy. Get off his stuff.
I'm following everything. That's
I don't care. He's boosting me. It helps my stats.
All right, fair enough.
It's part of the package. You get a little social media boost if you get us on your podcast for sure.
And you get Ming Chen to troll you. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
it helps make up for how many times I've tagged you on Instagram and Twitter the past couple of days.
Oh hey, totally cool. We love being on everything but the podcast for sure. So I'm trying to. It's how many episodes have you done?
This will be episode 16 for everything but
podcast. Congratulations.
Episode 14, which I actually think was pretty cool, was actually a Valentine's Day special that we recorded at like midnight on Valentine's Day. But I thought that was cool that episode 14 was also recorded on February 14th. But that episode got real explicit real quick, and I'm blaming Twisted Joker for that. But
yeah, that's my fault.
Towards the end, we were reading like the weirdest or the corniest pickup lines, and then his were from Reddit, so that can tell you why his got explicit. Okay. Mine went dark, very quick when one of them was, you know what would look good on you? Crutches. It went so dark that it was priceless. I mean, I wish that we would have known about this video when I was reading those off, so I could have seen Twisted Joker's facial reaction to it, because I know he spit out whatever he was drinking on a couple of those pickup lines. But
yeah, I did.
Was it bong water?
No,
it might have been fake juice.
Do me a favor.
Most likely it was beer.
Okay.
Or that too. I'm gonna see if I can find some more. Twisted Joker, did you have any more questions?
Yeah, ask away.
This has gone by like so fast.
What's Kevin Smith like? Come on, give us that hard hitting stuff.
The hard hitting stuff, man. I don't know. Like I said,
what was the most difficult part when filming Comic Book Man?
The most difficult part?
Man, it was pretty easy. Don't let us fool you that that it was difficult. I remember meeting like Walking Dead cast members. They're like, "Oh man, like you guys got long days. Like you guys, you know, what's it like shooting the show?" I'm like, "Man, you guys are like running in the hot sun. Like you have to lay in a parking lot for 12 hours in the hot Atlanta sun." It was like we're in an air conditioned comic book shop, and I think we shot from like 10 to 6 every day for 2 months. I was like, man, like don't let us fool you that like it was tough. We got our lunches brought to us. It was cool. I don't think there was one tough part about comedy.
Yeah, there was, Ming. The tough part was the 10 months in between seasons. That's what you're like, oh crap. Because we got along so well with the crew that it was awesome. It was like a summer camp.
Well, I've listened to enough Tell 'em Steve Dave episodes where not everybody always got along with the crew. I guess it was maybe season two where you had the most.
Well, that wasn't the crew. That was just the producers. The producers. And there were some people caught in the fallout from that. But those 3 guys were real goddamn tools. They sucked.
That's the worst when you're like, you just want to enjoy what you're doing and then you have to deal with something like that.
Yeah. But I mean, that might have been the most difficult thing. That and the 10 months in between.
And the coolest part for me was you were literally the only real, like, aside from like maybe paranormal shows, you were the only real reality style show that I would watch. Because you weren't like the normal reality. You weren't like some Jersey Shore trash or crap like that. You guys were like wholesome. You were funny. I don't know. Something drew me in. And obviously being like a Clerks fan or a Kevin Smith fan is going to draw a lot of people in. But it was funny because that show, after it ended, I was like, I need to see more. I need to find more. And that was when I discovered like Tell 'em Steve Dave. And then soon after I saw comics and started listening to more of the podcasts and stuff just so I could get more of what I saw on that show. And you guys are exactly the same that you were on the show. So pretty much listening to you, it's no different, which I think was probably one of the biggest selling points for your show.
Awesome. Thank you. It's really weird where, you know, they really didn't highlight on Pawn Stars Chumley's fascination with human trafficking and buying drugs in wholesale bulk.
Yeah.
So you didn't get that side of Chumley. So that it was something he kept a little hidden, perhaps.
Yeah, he liked beating women too, apparently. So
he was just
ridiculous
with his shoes because he was like an athletic shoe guy, right?
Yeah, he was like a sneakerhead. So he was with
what they call him?
His Jordans, his Air Force Ones. Like,
yeah, his Supremes. Yeah, he was smacking them around with his Supremes.
Yeah, and he had too, I think. So yeah, me and Mike, we don't strike women.
No striking women.
Luckily, none of you have any backstories like that. I mean, Brian Johnson might have a bit of a dark mind, but he doesn't have anything like that coming out on him.
No, that's part of his charm, though. Is that dark
comedic genius? Though he's genius with what he comes up with.
He is. He's that quick. He is that funny. That spontaneously. So
yeah, they. Just like how you guys mesh together, all 3 of them, Brian Quing from Practical Jokers on Tell 'em Steve Dave, they just mash together perfectly for what they do.
Oh, hell yeah.
And which is kind of what inspires us to a certain, like listening to that and stuff like that kind of helped inspired us. And then obviously now we got to have you on the show, which is our biggest episode. On the heels of last night, I had to do it solo and I couldn't do video, but I interviewed the film producer and director Alejandro Motoria Marin. Oh my goodness, I hope I said his name right. It was really complicated, but I interviewed them. They have a Kickstarter campaign going right now for an upcoming vampire horror film. So I got to have them on the show yesterday, which was really cool because I had them yesterday and then you guys today.
Yeah, so keep it going, man.
A huge weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you're at a place now. It's like, hey, man, can you be on my podcast? And they can't really be like, oh, man, I'm busy today. I gotta, I'm not gonna be at home.
Right? They say that they're just dickweeds, and you're like, I don't want them on mine.
That's one cool thing I've noticed though is typically if I reach out, people are always like receptive of it because most people are too scared to reach out. Like they're like a lot of people have that fear and they let that overcome them, and I've never let that get in my way. Like I had Natasha Pasetta from Fangoria on like probably my 3rd or 4th episode. of the podcast last year. And that was just because I reached out to Fangoria on Twitter and was like, hey, would you ever like to do a podcast? And it literally just worked out that easily because they're like, hey, we really appreciate you reaching out to us. Let's set it up.
Yeah, we love saying if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah,
when you saw us, and
exactly.
Yeah, just ask. You'll get some people will be like, I don't think so, but it'll be a low percentage though. Just ask.
Yeah, most people are really, like you said, really receptive. Linnea Quigley, she's like a sweetheart. Kelly Maroney from Night of the Comet.
Right.
She'll do it in a heartbeat. Reach out to Barbara Crampton if you guys are horror guys, and I can tell you.
I follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, isn't she amazing?
Yeah.
Drop dead. She's like close to 60 and still drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, there's a lot of that's the other beauty of Twitter is how many people you end up finding on Twitter, and you can kind of reach out to them. Like I know Kane Hodder's on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Actually, Fangoria has their own podcast that Kane Hodder is a part of, which is actually really good too. I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head, but
it's not on you to remember that. Don't worry.
I'll pay it forward later, Fangoria. I'll tweet it. I'll give you credit.
Well, no, you got to make a demand. Like, I'll remember you next time if you send me a free subscription tomorrow.
I already have the subscription.
I bought it a free subscription.
My wife tells me I have too big of a heart because I'll have somebody like them on the show, and then like because I'm so excited to have them on, I'll be like, I really feel like the person will need to give back. They don't ask for it, but I feel like they need to give back. So immediately I bought a prescription. I bought a subscription to Fangoria. A prescription to Fangoria might be awesome too.
Keep safe from COVID, right? Gotcha.
The Kane Hodder podcast also co-stars Tiffany Shepitz and Felissa Rose. It's called Casualty Friday, and it's
Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, it's pretty great, especially if you love horror. But even if you want to hear great stories from all three of them, and Kane, I mean, all three of them have great stories. I'm a subscriber for sure.
That would have actually been an awesome person to see come into your store on Comic Book Man would have been Kane Hodder. No, I actually remember the episode where the members of Wolfpack came on your show. And Twisted Joker and I have that Juggalo background being fans of Psychopathic Records and stuff like that. So to actually see them come on the show, I've actually interviewed Wolfpack a long time ago, back in 2017 when I did Masters of the Underground. So when I first saw them come on your show, I was like, holy crap, Wolfpack is on Comic Book Man. That was a really cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's too bad we didn't keep going. I think we could have gotten Kane on the show for sure. Friend of the family. And then, we probably could have gotten Twisted on as well. We're very friendly with them. And
especially with Astronomicon and everything that's going on.
Yeah, we were going to try to go for Bruce Campbell if we went to the season.
That would have been awesome.
We had our wish list was long.
Yeah,
long and hard. There you go. Bruce Campbell was one of the ones that. Sorry about that. I've got dogs. Shut up. I'll kill you.
I'll stick those goats on you if you don't keep quiet.
I would have loved to have Bruce. Joel Hodgson from Mystery Science Theater. We came.
Oh, yes, that would have been awesome.
That close to having him on in season 5 or 5, I think. Right, Ming?
Yeah, I think so. I think it came down to he couldn't get over there. Like they wouldn't send a car or something.
One of the producers, one of the assistant producers, not even a producer, assistant producer. He lives in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and
ironic. Hopefully, he was one of the good ones and not the bad one.
Yes, Bucks County is good. So, all it would have taken was like a car ride over. He didn't want to have to drive himself, and he didn't have to drive back that night because that's. You work, you film for like 3 or 4 hours. It takes a lot out of you. And he just wanted a ride out, a place to crash, and then a ride back. That's all it would have taken. And we know who the assistant producer was, and he's a pain in the ass. So I will forever hate him for that.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous when you have a big opportunity like that and they're just I don't want to give you a ride. You got to find your own ride. Like, really? Come on, man. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity here.
Man, we would have offered, man. We rented like a Tesla, and we would have gone over
him for God's sakes.
Yeah. Mike would have had him put him in the spare bedroom. Like it would have been great. That's a whole nother episode right there.
Yeah, that's an episode in and of itself. Have him go into that so-called haunted stash basement you got over there.
Yeah, I would have put GoPros all around my house. It would have been great.
Yeah. However, we did end up giving one horror icon a ride to a convention once.
2 horror icons.
2 horror icons, actually. Yes, 2. Do tell, Mike.
So anyway, it was Ming and I were supposed to leave. We were going up to Albany for the Albany State Comic-Con.
Empire State
Comic-Con. Sorry, Empire State. Love you guys. Empire State Comic-Con. And Ming gives me a call. We were going to leave. It was a Friday night. Was it Friday night?
It was Friday night.
Friday night, we were going to leave because it's about a 3-hour drive up. And he's like, hey, Mike, how many people can you fit inside your SUV? And I'm like, with or without luggage? And he's like,
or ashtrays.
Well, they're like, I didn't even consider that. How many people, can you fit 5 people? I'm like, not with luggage. And he's like, all right, then we're going to have to take 2 cars up because I need you to stop up at Newark Airport because turns out that Amanda Wyss and Robert Englund's flight was canceled from Newark to Albany. So we drove up, picked up Robert Englund and Amanda Wyss, and I got to drive them up. And we were driving. Robert was in the back seat. It was awesome. He was just telling stories about the 70s in New York City.
Was he talking into Freddy voice the whole time? Because that would have been crazy.
No, thank God he wasn't, because I would have like looking into the mirror and not seeing his face, or have him like, and like, oh
yeah, that's what I was just thinking. You look into the mirror and he just does a creepy Freddy grin and just looks at you because he knows you're looking at him.
All I hear his eyes like this, and you're like, oh my God.
That would have been such an epic story, though.
Like, could you move? I can't see who's behind me. I'm trying to get into the right lane.
Imagine if you had him and Kane Hodder back there at the same
man.
time. And he had Freddy and Jason in the back seat.
Yeah, and the beautiful Amanda Wyss was riding shotgun. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That was very unexpected, though. So that was good. I mean, the alternative was, they would have put them in the. The only flight he could have gotten out was the next morning, so they would have put him in the Roach Motel that they put, people whose flights got canceled and
the Jizz Motel. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I think I think he was very appreciative. So we're all about doing a good deed. Or
that's one thing I always hear about almost everybody in the horror community, actors, actresses, is they're always the most humble and like sweetest people to meet.
Oh yeah, they're
and everything. Well, it looks like that hour has already flown by. I could go on for hours in general because I just talk a lot. But I know you guys probably got some other stuff you got to go. So I'm not going to hold you on here all day. But I want to send a personal thank you to Mike Zapcic and Ming Chen, both of you, for coming on the show. It was a blast.
Guys, thank you so much. An hour flew by.
Yeah, it really did. I'm going to look into having you guys on again because I had a lot of fun. And I feel like there's so many more things we could talk about.
Many stories for sure.
We've scratched the surface, boys.
Yeah, but thank you. And everybody should be listening and subscribing to Everything But the Podcast with Twisted Joker and Tony Stars Rex. You guys are
amazing. I know I do.
Yes, Everything But the Podcast is available on everything, Spotify, Google Play Music, pretty much any digital platform we're on there, and on my personal YouTube channel. Also, Ming and Mike have their own podcast. So you have like more than one, actually. So
we have 83 podcasts to be
honest. I know you have Mike. What was it? It was Morning Show originally. Now it's Mike and Ming and
Mike. Yeah,
or Ming and Mike, and then you have I Sell Comics. So make sure you guys go check that out as well and subscribe to their shows.
And then subscribe to Everything But the Podcast. This is your newest, most favorite podcast in the world going on right now.
Next to the Ming and Mike show, right?
Yes, and we're honored to be on with you guys for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Awesome afternoon. It was a blast.